All right, joining us today is a wrestler, a promoter, and not only is he a legend in the business, but the driving force behind the newly formed Global Force Wrestling. Please welcome Jeff Jarrett. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you, guys. I appreciate you giving me some time today. It's a lot of things going on in my world, and Global Force Wrestling just getting launched with our Grand Slam tour. So I'm excited to talk about that, promote it, and just have a good time with it.
All right. As we mentioned, you have been highly successful in the world of professional wrestling. With all your success in and out of TNA in recent years, you did then decide to start from the ground up to create an entirely new promotion in GFW. What got you to do that?
You said it. It's in my blood. It is. My family has been in the business for over 70 years, dating back to the 1940s. My grandmother did just about everything but wrestle. And then she worked her way up, and what you'd call now as the CFO. And then my dad, he promoted first in high school and right out of high school, and then he wrestled, and then he went back to promoting. So it's a family business. It's something I've got a lot of passion for. This age, 2015, it's a different world that obviously that my grandmother grew up in promoting, and my dad grew up in promoting, and business has changed drastically. Just the way, and when I say business, I mean the content business, the distribution business, the promotion business. Just the world is so much of I'll call it a smaller place because we're all connected. So I got a passion for it, and I really felt the time was right.
Now, speaking of TNA, you and your father created it back in 2002. What lessons did you learn from that experience that you used when creating GFW?
You know, we're all the sum total of all of our experiences in life, good, bad, or indifferent. And I've learned, day by day, month by month in this business. And I'm in my 29th year of actually earning a living out of the professional wrestling business. So you learn every year that goes by. And the one thing that really, to me, as I've stated this time, that how business has changed, the world, to create a brand from the ground up, from scratch, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. It, quite frankly, it takes a lot of patience. And so I'll say that I'm a more patient man than I was 12 years ago. And that we've strategically rolled this out, methodically rolled this out, and just creating a brand awareness. And like I said, it does take a lot of time and effort, and it's something that, I'm working diligently to just do exactly that, create that brand awareness. These Grand Slam tours, we're excited, the matchups, and we can talk about that in a little bit later, but as far as promoting it, we partner with these minor league teams all across the country, and we're basically getting into the DNA of their fan base and partnering with their media partners, whether it be radio, or cable television, or network television, the newspapers. And so that again, going back to creating that brand awareness. And I'm very happy. Been going around the country, throwing out first pitches. Been to Iowa, been to Erie, Pennsylvania, Appleton, Wisconsin, Lake County, up in Ohio, right outside of Cleveland, Jackson, Mississippi, Jackson, Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, Bowling Green, Kentucky, and just creating that brand awareness is so important these days. We were on CBS Sports, the minor league baseball game of the week a couple of weeks ago out in Round Rock, Texas, and had the opportunity to get on their airways just to expose the brand of Global Force Wrestling.
Sure. Now, what have been some of the biggest challenges with starting a promotion from the ground up?
You know what? Starting any type of business, a lemonade stand, a computer company, a banking firm, a law firm, a doctor, you're going to have challenges of any startup business has. And so, it's all part of the game, but I go back to, again, creating that brand awareness is so important, and that's sort of at the very top of my priorities, but it's something that I love to do, and it's part of the professional wrestling business.
Now, you've been on a whirlwind lately, like you said, promoting shows and getting ready for the debut of Global Force Wrestling. There's so many other companies out there right now. What sets GFW apart from those companies?
I'm not going to say this completely sets us apart, but it's because all the other companies do it. But we're going to be highly engaged. We're definitely going to be, not on a daily basis, but almost an hourly basis on all of our platforms, all of our social media platforms. at GFW Wrestling, globalforcewrestling.com. We're going to be very interactive, very engaging, and that's part of this Grand Slam promotional tour. It's one of the things I really like about it. I get to throw out the first pitch and do some radio, but I'm signing autographs for a couple of innings, and fans are coming up and saying, hey, how can I join the street team? And I give them the at GFW Street Team Twitter handle, and hey, how can I do this? Or we want to see this. Or they'll come up and tell me and say, hey, have you seen wrestler X who wrestles for this local promotion? And that's all interactive engagement. And that's a lot of fun. And then as far as our in-ring product, we're going to take a little bit of the best from all around the world. Everybody saw Wrestle Kingdom 9. If you're a wrestling fan, you've certainly heard about it. That strong style, New Japan, hard-hitting action is going to be an element. We're going to have an element, obviously, of Lucha Libre and the pageantry and everything that goes with that. And so we're going to have a mix of blends, but everybody on the card is going to have one thing in common, and that's a passion for this business and a passion to compete. And when I say compete, the world knows professional wrestling is not true sport, but it's very competitive. The guys, they want to be in the main event. They want to have the ability to have the best match on the card or certainly the hottest move or a new move. So there's a level of competition that has always gone on in this business, and we're going to bring that to the forefront. Obviously there's storytelling in sport. There's storytelling, obviously, in movies and television and all this. And we're going to have stories, but we're going to document them because every athlete that steps in a GFW ring has a real story behind them on why they do what they do. Why do they want to become champion? Why do you make the sacrifices, whether it's physical sacrifice or it's emotional with your family, all those type things. We want to document and really bring to the forefront who these athletes are.
Now, speaking of athletes, you have an amazing roster right now. Names like the Young Bucks, Chris Masters, PJ Black, Shelton Benjamin, and many more have already been signed. How do you decide on who you wanted for your roster?
Well, and I said it earlier, passion. The guys got to have a passion for this industry. Yes, you can have a very lucrative career financially in the wrestling business, but above all, you got to want it, and that money will follow that passion. So that's right at the very top. And then me as a guy who's been around and I've surrounded myself with I believe, a real diverse, unique, forward-thinking team. And we look at it, we're all wrestling fans. What do you want to see? Do you want to see what types of matchups do you want to see? And I think that, certainly our first 4 shows we've got laid out there, and it's really unique competitive matchups. The Bullet Club, I use an example. Doc and Carl, literally the hottest tag team in the world, the hottest faction, in the world. And they're wrestling 2 guys that are, I'll call them, lesser known as the new Heavenly Bodies. And so you don't think that the Heavenly Bodies are going to step their game up and do everything they can to really prove that they belong in the ring? That's what it's about. It's that level of competition. When you have an established team like Gunn and Gallows stepping into a ring with guys that are trying to get their career off the ground, and I could go on and on and on. Moose out of Ring of Honor Wrestling. He's a 6-7 year NFL lineman, but he's a rookie in this sport, and so he's got a lot to prove. Sanjay Dutt, if he's a vet, is he going to be able to, stay on par with these guys that have, maybe a little bit younger than him? Not that Sanjay by any stretch old, but he's had a national TV and an international TV run. And just go on and on and on the list. Thea Trinidad is a girl who got in this business at a young age, and a really unique story behind her that her father passed away in the 9/11 attacks, and so that gave her the inspiration to become a professional wrestler. And now she's been in the game 4, 5, 6 years, and now she's really ready to step into her prime. So I could go on and on and on and on about each individual story of the GFW athletes. That's the type of thing that really, really excites me.
Well, you just mentioned Thea Trinidad, including your wife and a few others on your roster right now. There's not a ton of women. Now, do you plan on expanding that as the future goes?
Absolutely, and very carefully, but without question, we're going to expand. I've always been a huge fan of good women's professional wrestling. I think it can be compelling. I think it can be so relatable to the women in the audience. It's just the short answer is absolutely we're going to be expanding.
All right. Now, as it stands right now, what is your ultimate goal with GFW?
It's a business, and you're either going to have red ink or black, and I prefer black. And so that's what any business is about, is being profitable. And that's on the business side. From a more of a promotional side, that we want to be engaging. We want to put out a brand of professional wrestling that is universally accepted, and that we want people to come to our show and leave wanting more. It's that simple of what you do, whether you're the movie business or the sporting business or music business. You want the audience to leave wanting more, and that's really a goal.
Now, you mentioned Wrestle Kingdom 9 and New Japan Wrestling earlier in the interview. Do you see a partnership with New Japan going forward in the future?
I mean, we've got an alliance, relationships with 13 promotions around the world. So we were yes. The short answer is yes. They reached out to us last year, and we promoted and brought Jeff Ross on board. So the jumping off point with that relationship, I don't think it could have gone any better. And I'm looking forward to working with them in the future.
All right, now your touring schedule is pretty busy starting June 12th, going all the way through August so far. You're going to be running a lot of minor league stadiums. Why did you choose these instead of arenas?
Real simple, just what I stated earlier. We want to partner. We could go to Mid-Epsom Civic Center in the kitchen where you guys are at. We could go to any arena, armory, stadium. I mean, not say any building. And you could go in and rent it and four-wall it and pay for insurance and pay for rent and pay for advertising and all that. But we chose to really strategically partner with minor league teams across the country, their existing fan bases. They're obviously, if you've gone to a minor league stadium anywhere in the country, you know that there's not a bad seat in the house. Having a roasted show outside in the summertime, it's just a unique experience. We're going to be having a VIP experience at these stadiums, which turns out to be really cool. So we wanted to partner with great promotional partners, and that's what minor league baseball organizations are.
Now, you're obviously going to be at these stadiums for a while, but when you keep going a little bit further on down the line, do you have any specific arenas that in mind that you eventually want to go to? Like, what would be your ultimate arena that you could have GFW at?
Oh, I mean, you name it. It's a who's who. There's no need for us to discussing that right now, but the obvious ones are the obvious ones. And
yes.
As any promoter, you would want to run the marquee or legendary buildings in the cities that we tour.
You've pretty much done it all as far as your career in wrestling has been. Is there any accomplishment, though, that you are most proud of?
You know what? Those type questions I love for you guys to answer and talk about the what ifs and that. But when you become a world champion, that's a very gratifying, satisfying moment in any wrestler's career and things of that nature. But you know what? The experiences on a day-to-day and a show-to-show and a town-to-town that you remember, and those are the type of things that you enjoy. But I'll leave that up to you guys. The best accomplishment.
Okay. It's been asked a lot, I'm sure, in your other interviews, but are you at a plateau with your in-ring career? Do you think that there's anything left for you to accomplish as far as wrestling in GFW, or do you think that you'll probably stay away from in-ring competition?
I do know for a fact, but my in-ring days have come to a screeching halt. I'm not going to say I'm retired. I'm not going to say I'm going on a retirement tour, but my days of being an in-ring performer as my priority are long behind me, and I want to focus on promoting GFW, creating that brand awareness, and really giving these guys an opportunity to step on a stage that some of them have never been on before, and let them shine and let them step up and either swing and miss or knock it out of the park. And I hope all of them get a chance to knock it out of the park.
All right. And finally, what would you say to someone who is maybe still on the fence about attending a GFW show?
It's real simple. If you're on the fence, lean our way because we will not disappoint. I am dead set, and we're promoting and working tirelessly that when you show up to a GFW Grand Slam event, tickets start as low as $10, very affordable, and you're going to have access to the wrestlers. We're going to have a 5:30 VIP meet break with the the GFW Legend and 6 to 8 wrestlers, and myself and Karen will be accessible. But all eyes are going to be at 7:30 when the show starts, and we have our 6 or 7 matches. And though that professional wrestling will speak for itself, and so that's why I'm saying, if you're on the fence, to use your vernacular, that jump off that fence and come join and join the force.
All right.
Now, where can we learn more about Global Force Wrestling? You mentioned the Twitter handle earlier on, and I know there's a website, but where can people find out more about it?
We've got a freshly, newly designed website. It's globalforcewrestling.com. That's globalforcewrestling.com. It's got all the details about the Grand Slam shows, our YouTube channel link. It's got the Orleans ticket information. It's got anything you need to know as it relates to Global Force Wrestling. Go to that site. And then my Twitter is @RealJeffJarrett. And like I said, all the social platforms for GFW are at GFW Wrestling.
All right, Jeff. Well, we really appreciate your time today. And me and Jonathan, we can't wait to check out Global Force Wrestling in person.
Great. Looking forward to it. I appreciate your time today, and I do. I appreciate your promotion of the brand.